Welcome back to the podcast. This is the Rule and Reign podcast, where we are on a mission to discover what it looks like to walk in governance, live in dominion, to rule and reign in every single area of our life. Now, if you haven't heard, the three most common pain points in life is health, wealth, relationships. You can pretty much kiss the last two goodbye if you don't handle and steward well the very first one, which is health. I'm very excited to have on the podcast with me today a powerhouse of a couple today who have dedicated their lives to help people step back into dominion, regain their dominion in the area of their health, specifically their brain health, with us today. She has 35 plus years in the medical field as an MD alongside her husband, who is a culinary chef, retrained as a nutritional chef. Together, they now have an organization that says health doesn't have to start and end at the doctor's office. It actually starts at home with you. Rule and Reign community, which having welcome to the podcast today. Doctors on a mission, Dr. Isabel and Michael Hunsinger. Welcome, team.
Thank you, Zeb. Thank you. Hello. Thanks for having us on today.
Oh, my pleasure. I have been looking forward to this conversation since the last time we spoke, actually 2 weeks ago. And I'm excited to go into today's session. As always, before I go in, I always ask my guests to tell us a little bit about you. Obviously, I've known you now for the last for a little bit. They don't. Would you care to explain a little bit more? Talk us. Who is Doctor? What is Doctor on a Mission? Who is Dr. Isabel and Mike Hunsinger, and what is your mission in life?
Shall I, or you go?
Whatever you want.
Okay, well then I'll start.
Take it away.
Well, Doctor on a Mission is a God-ordained thought that came to Isabel back in 2013. As a medical doctor in the traditional old-fashioned way of doing medicine and handing out drugs to people, she got sick and tired of the way things were going. After about 25 years of doing that, she came home and said to me,
Babe,
I got to do this differently. The
Yeah.
people just keep coming back. They're not getting better. There's got to be a better way. So we gave up the traditional way of having a salary and a contract and the supposed security of all that year after year. She said, let's go do something different. I want to start my own thing, and we'll just go out there and give it a go. And of course, I just said, fantastic, let's give it a go. We've been together for 45 years now, so about that time was 30 some, and I just agreed and said, I don't know what we're doing, but let's give it a go. And for me, at that time,
because I said, hey, with God, all things are possible, right?
it's possible. I don't know what we're doing, but it's possible.
But God will guide us.
And for me, by the time I was 50, both of my parents had died young of chronic disease, and I was heading down that same path as a traditional chef working in private country clubs in the U.S. and also in large hotels for the Sheraton organization.
Wow.
And by 50, I was crashing and burning with poor lifestyle. I was a fat, frumpy, about ready to die guy was heading the same path of my parents. And
Do you know that picture, the Pillsbury Doughboy?
No.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's too young.
Yeah,
for
he's
that.
too young now. Anyway, you can imagine
Yeah.
what a dough
Yeah,
chef,
for sure.
doughy chef
For
looks
sure.
like. That was Michael.
Yeah, at 50, I was in trouble. And so I decided I'm not going to go down this path. Beautiful wife, beautiful daughters, all young at the time. And my saying is always like, we all have genes, but we don't need to wear those genes. So you can either turn them off or turn them on,
Wow.
depending on what you do nutritionally.
Yeah,
So
wow, yeah.
I just relearned nutritionally about food is medicine or food is poison, and reversed my aging, basically. I mean, I'll
Wow.
be 68 in a couple months, and I don't have the pictures with me, but if you saw me at 50, you'd have thought I was 70.
Wow.
So I was on board, and away we went, and a lot has happened since then. But yeah, that's how it kind of started with Doctor on a Mission, which is our brand. And, as you do, a lot of things happen along the way.
So good, so good. And you, Dr. Isabel, you've been in the medical field for
Since 1991, I graduated from medical school in Colorado, and my whole goal of becoming a doctor was to help people. Like, that's just been my heart all my life. And then, as Michael said, in 2013, I was like, babe, my patients aren't getting any better. We don't have a healthcare system. We've got disease management. I cannot do this anymore. And so I retrained in functional medicine, which gets to the root cause,
Mm.
like let's get to the real reason. And then now our whole goal on Doctor on a Mission is to help people prevent and reverse disease, because you can, and that learn that there's hope, that
Yeah.
Jesus Christ is our hope,
Come on.
and he'll show us how to do life here on earth with peace and joy and love. He'll show us. He's with us. We just got to know that he's there.
Come on. That is so,
Yeah.
so good. Um,
Yeah.
wow. Everything you just said just speaks volume about taking ownership and taking responsibility of your own health, especially with beginning with nutrition and what you said, Dr. Isabel, saying that you've been a doctor for so many years and realizing your patients aren't getting any better and had to retrain and get back down to the root of the problem. The statement on your website that says health doesn't end or start at doctor's office. It actually starts at home with your habits. Would you care to elaborate on that? Because that is a big punch to the face. Because it says it's actually your responsibility. This is part of us taking ownership of our own health. Would you care to go into that a little bit?
You okay if I take
Yeah, you
that?
go
So
for it.
yeah,
You're the doctor there, and
that's right. I am the
that is
doctor.
so powerful. That statement is so powerful coming from an MD and not just somebody who just graduated, but it's been in that traditional way for decades.
Mm,
To say it doesn't start with me here. By the time you get to Isabel at the doctor's office, we're way down the
yeah,
track here.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know we've been so indoctrinated, right?
yeah, for sure.
Like that's just what you do. You got a sore throat, you go to the doctor and all that stuff. Anyway. So that was my retraining. I was like, okay, we can teach people how to be well right where they are in the home, the workplace, the church, the schools. Like we can start learning that. And so all we got to do is just teach people, because people don't know. People are so confused with what's out there. Because would you agree, there's so much information on the internet?
Absolutely. It's
And
overwhelming.
Oh,
yeah,
yes, yes.
and I love ChatGPT, but like we were just talking to somebody yesterday, and they went to ChatGPT to ask them about how to take care of their osteopenia, which is like small. They're starting to get broken bones, and
Yeah.
their bones are becoming brittle. And when they told me what ChatGPT said, and I was like, no, 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 you don't want to do that. That's increasing your risk of heart attacks
Oh,
and
wow.
strokes. So it's like, okay, if we could just start tooling people up, they can fly. Like in the Bible, it says where one can lead 1,000 to flight,
Yeah.
two can lead 10,000 to flight. So imagine going into the home and teaching the one person,
Mm,
the wife, the mother who buys the food. That's Michael's job, who buys the food. And then she's gonna affect the family, a family of 10. That's like her influence. Well, then those 10 influence another 10. And that's how you're going to bring health,
mm.
you know? And I look at it with our girls. Michael taught the girls how to cook. And now they're teaching their boyfriends how to
Come
cook.
on.
And so it's compounding interest. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And how important is, I mean, obviously nutrition is important, but coming from a retrained nutritional chef, how important does that play into the picture here?
Uh, well,
Great
I will
question.
use it as an example on myself. Without understanding, we've all heard this saying that food is medicine. I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind of been out there. Yeah,
yeah.
food is medicine. Great. But what we haven't realized is the full picture is food is medicine, but food is poison,
Wow.
because we have to look at what's going in and understanding this beautiful vessel we have created by God.
Mm,
It actually recreates itself every day. All of our body systems are recreating itself every day. This is not the original shell that you were born with or you had a week ago or 2 weeks ago. We are always creating new cells every day. And that is happening through a natural process. Like, we clean out, there's what's called autophagy. We clean out the dead cells.
Autophagy just means I will,
What?
it's,
Are you jumping in?
yeah, we do it all the time. So just to jump in, autophagy just means auto means self. Autophagy means kill. So your body is killing the dead cells
Wow.
all day long. It's so
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
God made us so smartly.
It's such a
Take it
beautiful
away.
system. Yeah. So we're basically losing dead cells every day and creating new ones. So we're constantly recreating ourselves. We don't think about that. So what we are feeding ourselves
Mm.
and drinking,
Mm.
and for like from your perspective, exercise, the
Mm.
things we're doing, which can help with that process, is whatever's going on in here is either going to create something very good or it's actually going to help. I'm not going to use a medical term. I'll call it the baddies because we all have baddies. We are all exposed to cancers throughout the world every
Yeah.
day.
Wow.
But if we have a system that's running clean
Mm.
and we've got a good, strong immune system, we just kick it out.
Yeah.
We kick it out and we're being attacked constantly from all kind of stuff every day. But if we're feeding junk into our systems and it's kind of building up these toxins and our immunity and our systems start to kind of break down and eventually our systems go, I can't do it anymore. I can't fight this battle. Boom, the baddies win. And that's when they go see
Yeah. Doctor.
the MD, the doctor, and say, "Hey, this just happened." It's like, no, that didn't just happen.
Right,
Mm.
Your
exactly.
lifestyle
Yeah.
habits.
Wow.
Now, this is a key for us to understand as a society. Is whenever we get to that point of seeing the doc and the doc gives a diagnosis, that diagnosis didn't just happen that day. You know, we hear so many times somebody died at a young age and they go, "Oh, they were all good and then it just happened." No, it didn't just happen. We all have stuff going on in our body systems. We have these little smoldering fires going on all the time just because of everything we're exposed to in the world. But what happens is over time, if we're not doing the proper lifestyle habits, and of course we can get into that, over time, our body systems will start to break down and will basically, I say, and the body systems go, "I've had enough. I give up. I can't do this anymore." The bad army wins. And boom, we go see the doc and we think, "Oh, it just happened." Well, no, that could have been decades
Wow.
building up. And that's what we need to understand. So that's why, like what you're doing with personal fitness
And I just wanted to
training
add
is
in
so
right
important.
there. Wait, I wanted to add in. And
Yes.
so people come into the doctor and they feel terrible and they want it,
Yeah. Now, quick fix.
and that's not
Give me a pill.
like,
Fix
and
this. Give me a
that's
pill.
that's
Fix it.
conventional medicine. That's what we have trained. That's people have been
Yeah.
indoctrinated into thinking the pill is the answer, but it's not the answer.
So I just want to say though,
I'll let you
for
say.
people to understand that it's not your fault.
Yeah.
If you've fallen into this trap, it's not your
Right.
fault because
Wow.
that's as a society what we've been taught for the
Wow.
last 50 years or so that, oh, okay, we'll just go and get this fixed or take some medicine or just manage
Wow.
this problem and you can have a slow death.
Wow. Wow. There's so many ways I could spin this right now because what you're saying, the both of you right now, is very convicting for someone like me and the circles of people I'm surrounded by, right? I love what you said that no, it didn't just happen. It's been happening all along. And this is the compounding effect of your lifestyle. You're now sitting in front of me as a doctor wanting a pill to fix the problem. But the problem is actually you didn't actually realize the lack of discipline, I guess, to be aware of what's actually going on, what's going into your body, what's going into your mouth, sorry. And then when you're saying like it's the way we've been programmed, like obviously we know that like to do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I guess
Yes.
that's where it comes down to us uh being retaught or being re-educated around how to actually look after our own bodies. You know, I'm a strength conditioning coach, a personal trainer, But one thing that's missing in my toolkit is real knowledge around what's going in my mouth. Because I remember when I was first training as a personal trainer, someone told me that what you eat today, you'll wear tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me my entire fitness life. And so I remember a few years back where every now and then God began to pop up and say, "Hey, it's not what's coming out of you; it's what's going into you. That's the real problem here." And so
Oh.
that's so. What would you say are some of the things that's going on? Some of the most unhealthy foods, I guess, that's common within our home that one should be aware of, I guess.
Definitely talk to him about you can't out train a bad
Oh,
dog. Okay.
yeah.
That's like,
This
just
is a
take
good,
it away.
well, this
I
is a
give
good
you
one for
full
Zeph.
permission to just unleash.
This one's a good one for
Take it
Zeph.
away, Chef.
But and you will actually, I know you know this,
Yeah.
and you will see it in your career. But one of the things we all talk to people about is you can't out train a
A
bad
bad
diet.
diet, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, I mean,
Ah,
I mean, even now today, we understand that the professionals of sports, those guys concentrate on good nutrition because they're now understanding that, hey, the guy next to me is staying clean and mean, and if I'm kind of, yeah, I'm working out hard, but I'm kind of getting a little bit, frumpy
Yeah.
here, he's gonna whoop up on me, he or she, shall I say.
Mm,
So we've had many clients that have come and told us about their excellent fitness regime, but they're not doing well in their health. And then we get into the nutritional panel. So I believe the nutritional panel is number one, that you can't out train your bad diet, that you got to start to get some foundation in that area. And I would say for the biggest thing that I have learned to work with people on in this journey is, and I think Zeph, you would relate to this in the fitness areas, I always look at people when I first start working at them. I take like a scale of 0 to 10 in nutrition. I find out, what are you eating, what are you drinking on a daily basis, and I find out where they kind of land, with 10 being just optimal. Man, I mean, that's
hmm.
5 star, that's optimal. And 0 means you basically, it's a train wreck. And if they start, let's say, on a 2 or a 3, whatever that might be, I'm not trying to get them to 10 to optimal within a week or even a month. I'm within a couple weeks, I'm trying to say, if they're at a 3 nutritionally wise, when we identify that, I'm trying to move them up to a 4 in a week or two, then a 5 within a month, then a 6, so that we build on that foundation.
mm.
Because one thing I've discovered is, if we
Yes,
give them
this is
too
called
much,
wisdom, babe.
yeah,
This is called wisdom.
too much, too quick,
Yeah, yeah,
take this out, take that
yeah,
out, do this, don't do that. Boom, it'll
yeah.
last 2 weeks, just like the New Year's
Resolution. Yeah,
resolutions, and go doomsh.
yeah. One
Yeah.
degree
So,
shift at a time.
yeah, one
Right.
degree
1 degree
shifts, and you got to move people along. And I'm sure just like you do in fitness,
with
got to
love.
take them along on a path. And so that's probably one of the most important things, is because when people hear things like diets, I'm not a fan of diets. We don't do
Yeah,
diets.
for sure.
We do lifestyle.
Yeah,
Because yes, if you got a wedding in 60 days and you're trying to get in this dress size or this coat size or something, and you do a diet because you want to get into that size in 60 days, yeah, help yourself.
Mm.
But our goal is about optimal health long term, so that you are living strong, healthy, toned, sexy into your last breath.
come on.
Yeah.
Not that you're just limping into the finish line and crashing and burning. Yeah.
Because we don't have to.
Yeah,
That doesn't
absolutely,
have to be our story.
Yeah. So that's about
absolutely.
long-term health, optimal
You
health.
guys, I mean, we spoke off the air a little while ago. You guys have a goal to live until like you're 100+ years old
Yeah.
and stay married, stay passionate, stay on fire, and this is all because of lifestyle.
Right, babe?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, we're just playing.
Kinda.
I want to talk about some of the stuff that you mentioned earlier about preventing or reversing disease. This is a big talk. And I
Okay.
feel like a lot of people would say, "How dare you for even thinking like this?" Right now, there's a lot of hopelessness around some of the stuff that you guys are working, are going up against.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, gut disorders. There's a whole lot of hopelessness around that area. But I think it's also because there's also a lack of knowledge, lack of education, lack of awareness. I said this before that the Bible says, "My people perish because of their lack of knowledge
Mm.
around this particular area." Why is it you guys feel like there is possible that we can reverse or even prevent such diseases as Alzheimer's or anything else?
Because we've helped people do it. I mean, I didn't look, let's be honest, I didn't think I could do it. Like when I started learning this functional medicine, which is research based type of medicine, getting to the root cause, I was like, okay, try this. We'll see if it works. And it started working. And we were like, whoa, babe, we got to tell people
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this. And in the area of Alzheimer's, just for that area right now with the brain health, at first, when we were trained in 2018 by Dr. Dale Bredesen to teach people how to reverse cognitive decline and early Alzheimer's, I was like, okay, I'll see if anybody comes on board with us. And people came to us,
Wow.
and it worked for the people that implemented
Yeah.
the program.
Come on. Yeah.
Okay. Michael and I walk alongside people and we help them. Okay. That's our job. That's our godly job. And we just show people how to do that. So that's one way it's been proven to us. And then in my journey, with me experiencing anxiety and depression and coming to the end of my life 3 times in my medical profession since 1991, I never thought about coming to the end of my life as a doctor. I mean, in my life ever, until I started becoming a doctor and I was realizing, oh man, I mean, it just slowly, you know how when you're in the wrong place, but you're really stuck?
Yeah.
And financially, I was really stuck because I was like $400,000 US dollars in debt for student loans. But my heart since I was 5 was to become a doctor. Like I wanted to become a doctor like my beautiful uncle who would light up the room. You know, those kind of doctors that walk in, or these people that would walk into the room and they would light it
Yeah.
up.
Come on. We
That
need those
was
doctors. We need those doctors in New Zealand.
yes, in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that was who impressioned my heart. God used my uncle to impression my heart with what's possible. You know how you have to have a vision board? He was my vision board for how a doctor can be. So then, you know how when you have a goal and then you've got the victory at
Yeah.
at the end, but then you got that middle part called struggle?
Yeah.
The messy middle.
Or the middle part called life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I got stuck in the life and becoming a doctor. And so for 3 times, I came to the end of myself as a doctor. And I know now why that all happened. Like, I get that. But here's the big deal. Here's what God has revealed to me in that beautiful journey with God, is that we don't have a mental illness issue in the world. I know. I'll say that one more time because it's processing. It takes time to process. We don't have a mental illness issue. We've got a brain health issue.
Wow.
If we can teach the world like I have learned and Michael has learned, and we're helping other people to learn how to take care of their brain health with nutrition, gut health, hormones, hope with Jesus Christ, exercise, sleep. What else am I missing? There was another 7th one. I'm sorry, I forget
Water.
right now. Well, that's part of the nutrition. Great, good point. But if we learn how to help, productive thoughts, having
Wow.
Productive
Okay.
thought.
right thoughts, believing what God says about us in the Bible and not listening to the devil's messages, because the battlefield really is in the mind. If people can learn those foundations, then they won't have a mental health issue. They'll have good mental wellness and they'll be able to deal with life. They'll be resilient, like everybody's talking about. But if they don't have that foundation, if you don't have that house with good foundation, then when life hits you, you'll fall, right? Like that's what happens when you don't have a good house with good foundation. So we're all about teaching people how to work upstream instead of downstream. What does that mean? Well, think of a sink in your kitchen, and it's overflowing, and you're mopping up the floor. You're mopping up the floor. Well, hey, why not look upstream and turn off the faucet?
Yeah.
So that you don't have the flood. Well, that's what Michael and I are teaching the world is let's positively impact greater than 1 billion people in the
Come
world
on.
how to take care of their brain health so that they can just do their best life, because we're here to do our best life. But people don't know. They don't know because this is just coming out. And if I could just teach psychiatrists one thing about anatomy, and that is we all have a neck, and the head is connected with the body. It's not just all this, it's the whole body. We're all one.
Wow.
And doctor.
And doctors, well, psychiatrists are doctors.
Yes.
They're specialists in the
Specialists
mind.
in the mind, yeah.
So that's what I'm so excited about for the last part of my life here on earth is getting people tooled up.
This is exciting for me because it gives me hope to know I can actually do something about this, right?
Yes, you
I
can.
can, and it does, like, I can take responsibility now about what's going on in here. Now, being vulnerable here, there's a lot of chaos in the health of my family. This is the reason why I'm being so passionate about being health. I've gone into the health and fitness world, is because for most of my life I've been obese, overweight, and pre-diabetic, depressed, suicidal. I was overweight. When I started the journey, the doctor told me, Zephaniah, if not today, tomorrow you'll join the long line of your family who are diabetic, with heart disease, arthritis, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And something just switched on inside of my heart that day, and I was like, heck no, not me, I'm not next. So I went home that day and I started to make changes in my life. But I'm looking around my family, I'm like, man, there's a lot of chaos going on in health, not actually realizing it's this lack of awareness of what's going into our mouth, what's going into our brain. And I think it's two things, right? Like consumption is not just what's going into your mouth. It's actually what you're consuming with your eyes, with your ears, with your emotions, the people you're surrounded by. This has got a lot to do with like our brain health. Now, this is a big statement you're making that we don't have a mental health issue, we have a brain health issue. Because
Oh, I'm not the only one saying this. My colleagues, my mentors are saying it too. Like, this is a new movement.
For sure.
This is like the next 30 years.
For sure. For sure. And,
Yeah.
and this is pretty exciting because it means, hey, it means I get to now regain dominion and regain authority in this by taking responsibility about what's actually going into me. So, if I was a patient in the hospital, what are some of the things that I now need to be aware of that can really help my brain health, at least first at first pop?
Brain health, huh? Okay.
Do you want me to do that or do you?
No, I definitely am
raising
going.
your hand
I'm
on this
raising
one?
my hand.
Here's Michael.
Well, one of the things, and again, for me, it went back to number one, I have to figure out, like you did, well, why do I want to get help? Why do I not want to go down the track I'm going down? You've got to identify your personal reasons to say, all right, well, if I'm going to be changing habits, because here's the rub. Here is the most difficult part of anybody who makes a decision about their health, moving it into a positive, optimal health direction from where they're at, is making the decision to say, okay, I'm going to go that way, but I know I'm going to have to make changes. And that's where the rub comes, because if you can get over that first hump of saying, yes, I know I'm going to have to make changes in my lifestyle habits, and I'm willing to do that, because if you can't get your mind to a point where you dig in and say, I'm going to have to make changes, it's not going to work. You've got to first get to that point and identify what are the goals, what are the factors, what's the dream, what's the drive in your life so that you want to live longer. I mean, is it the people you want to be there for? Is it the things you want to accomplish? Once you can get that and the drive, now we can work with that to start to take you to the next steps.
Good, babe.
Mm.
And then some of the most important, then I would say the number one thing as I work with, when we work with people, is help them to understand that why is this statement about your brain health being so important? We have to understand as human beings that our brain controls everything that happens.
Everything.
I mean, my finger is moving. That's my brain.
Mm.
When my stomach might be gurgling because I'm hungry, that's my brain. My
Wow.
toe is moving. That's my brain. So when we realize that every single thing that happens every moment of every day is controlled by our brain, well, if this thing's a mess, guess what? The whole thing's a mess. It's not like, well, my brain's a mess and my thinking's all messed up, but the rest of me's good. That's impossible. The whole thing is a mess. So that's why brain health is so important. We've got to get this right. And then from a nutritional thing, and I don't know what path we're going on here, but we're going on a path.
Let's go. You take
But
us there.
from a nutritional point, the one thing I help people to understand is there's a direct correlation between our digestive system, gut health, gut, whatever you want to say it, and our brain. Our brain and our gut have a direct system, a direct connections.
They're married
They're married.
Mhm.
And
forever.
I won't get into all the technical terms, but they directly talk 24/7 every day of your life. Your gut and your brain are connected. And so to have this working properly too, one of the areas we have to work on is your digestion, your gut health, your gut microbiome, all that, because just as a real nice little easy simple one, and this is one of the reasons why I think the world has gotten so aggro, so aggressive, is because our nutritional plan, our nutritional eating for the last 25 years has just gone horrible with all the takeaways, the fast foods, the processed
Yeah.
foods. The food companies have made it so easy for us to open up a can or a package or pick up the phone and grab some stuff.
Yeah.
And they've gotten us addicted in the
Addicted to
brain.
it all.
Yeah.
That we have areas in the brain. I'm going to hold off and get all the technical stuff, but basically, we have areas of the brain that control different emotions. And we have an area of the brain called the amygdala that controls our flight or fright. I mean, it is very good. We need it,
Mm.
but it controls when, like, if right now, here we are in New Zealand, if you and I, we felt the whole room shaking.
Yeah.
Babe.
I know. Well, I was trying to do it for the camera. If we felt the whole room shaking and it lasted for a little while, we'd know it was an earthquake, and that amygdala would kick in and would say, "See you, Zeph,
Yeah.
I'm out."
We're out of here.
But that's an important part of the brain. We need that part to be kicked in. Now, the important part to understand is we have another part of the brain called the frontal lobe,
Which is right here.
which controls most of our emotions. It's the adult in the room. It controls how we handle
Wow.
situations.
Yep.
It controls if I said something to Isabel and it sounded really not right, it would give her the opportunity to control how she talks to me with that or makes a decision. It's the adult in the room. Now, that amygdala, that part of, or not the amygdala, the frontal lobe, that part of the brain runs the show. God has set it up that it's the control center.
Wow.
The amygdala is there, but it's there just to kick into action when it's needed.
Right.
What we need to understand is through the way it's been set up by God, the way our Creator set up our systems, is that when we eat poor nutritionally, if we're eating a bunch of that junk that we've already described, all the takeaways and the fast foods and the packaged foods and the processed and the Franken foods, we like to call it, basically made in the laboratory, those types of food in our digestive system heightens the amygdala. It
which is the
actually
teenager in the
is the
room,
teenager room. It's,
right?
yeah.
So we call the researcher shows us that the frontal lobe is the adult, the amygdala is the teenager.
Right.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine?
Yeah.
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 So that poor nutritional eating style will then highlight that amygdala and keep us in a constant flight or fright stress mode. And that's one of the reasons I believe the world's gotten so aggro when, you're out driving and people are, giving you the finger and blowing the horn and hollering at you, or you might be just in a conversation with somebody and then they go off and they're blasting and you're like, oh my gosh, how did this get to this? And that we've gotten so aggressive in today's world.
Yeah.
Now that's not all of it,
Mm.
but that's one of the areas is because of our nutritional eating, we're constantly in this state of flight or fright and stress, and we're on the edge and going on all the time. So that's an important part to understand about how the brain controls everything, and our nutritional way of eating helps us to keep this control up here to make sure that it's working the way it's been properly set up. Otherwise, we're messing with all our brain systems.
And you can do that with food.
Yeah.
Food can
Absolutely.
control the brain.
That's why I
which
say
is
food is
just-
medicine or food is poison.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This tells me that your relationship with God is just as much your brain health as it is your spiritual health, right? Because you've been raised up in a church where I just pray about it and trust it to God, and I think what's lacking is our awareness of what we can do practically in our health. I think we've treated our faith as a band-aid over our lack of responsibility to be responsible for
yeah.
stuff that God's actually entrusted to us. And this is
Amen.
why
Faith
Yeah.
without deeds is dead,
Yeah,
and
we
the
have to-
deeds is the work. We have to do our part, and God does the
Yeah,
rest.
we have to do our work.
exactly. And I think
Yeah.
like we were in a mastermind earlier where the conversation sort of got to like personal development, but it's more around like that you can't go anywhere in life without actually looking after the operating system, which is you. You're the operating system of your life. You're the operating system of whatever it is you're trying to build. Whatever you dream you're going after, you are the operating system, and God's given you dominion, first governance of your own health, your brain, and everything about you. This conversation has gone on a lot longer, and I want to keep it going. To be honest, because like I love what you guys are passionate about. Now, I want to share something. One of the things you guys focus on here is let me just share this with you guys. See if my screen can pop up right there. Can you guys see my screen?
There we go. Yep.
Cool. So this is your website. Look at this good-looking website. Look at it. Look at these good-looking people right here.
Oh, stop.
Now, you guys have an offer on your website. Fuel your kids for fuel your kids' brain for success. I like to look at it as raising nutritionally conscious kids. Talk to me a little bit about that, and then we're going to go into overcoming the other
Okay.
two here.
Thanks for that. Yeah, these are all free resources that people can tap into just to learn a little bit more about us. But for me personally, I mean, I was the at-home dad for our two daughters, and one of the things I started doing early on was bringing all kinds of foods in so that they, started to learn all different types of foods. And we have to understand that our brain is not fully developed until the age of 25. So those growing years, again, I go back to, food is medicine or food is poison. Our children, we are fueling their brain, so what we are fueling them is developing their brain.
Wow.
So just like new cells being developed every day and then the old cells dropping off and that. So we need to be fueling them with good, proper nutrition, good hydration, as you said, with water and not all that other stuff. Let's not feed them blue drinks and red drinks and green drinks and all this kind of stuff.
Don't do that,
Don't
please.
do that on our watch, please. Good hydration. And so that guidebook is also, because as an at-home dad, it's about the different types of foods, because again, it's got a section on picky eaters,
Right, right.
because I get that a lot. My kids are picky eaters. I'm like, okay, well, here's some things you can do that kind of disguises things. You can put it in, and how you can incorporate vegetables into foods and that, and they won't even notice it. And it's just helping them. And then, once you start doing that, they'll get to a point where they go, oh yeah, that's okay. Oh, I don't mind. I'll eat broccoli. Oh, it's okay. Yeah. And so it's a good guidebook to help parents to, uh,
Get
uh,
sneaky.
yeah, and just guide their kids along in a healthy way, because it is so, so important that we're fueling their brain for
Mm,
success in those early years. Because that's a lot of, I mean, we have exploded
mm,
with youth mental illnesses over the last 25 years with ADHDs and all ADDs and all this stuff. It's like, well,
mm,
how did this all happen? Well, this is one of the areas that's gotten out of control with what our
yeah,
kids are eating and drinking
mm.
and messing with their brain health.
Yeah,
And
because I think
so,
I mean, as a parent, a young parent, I've got a 4-year-old and 1.5-year-old, and I think the understanding is I'm just feeding them for them to have energy, for them to be full, so they can go about their day, not realizing the goal here is actually to fuel their brain. This is the missing part. And what you're saying here is that as a responsible parent, my goal is actually to feed them in a way that actually fuels their brain for optimal health, right?
yeah,
You got it.
yeah.
So again, like this is part of, personal governance and in living in Dominion is actually, raising children who actually, well, actually feeding them stuff that will actually prepare them for the future going forward. And so,
Yes.
how do people find that resource that you have on offer? Just go straight to your website.
Yeah, they just go to the website and look for the free resources, and you can just download it. It's right there. Help yourself. Nice free resource.
Doctor on a Mission, all long word, DOCTOR on a mission.com.
Um, one,
We got to have fun,
of
right?
course, man, you need to have fun.
Yes.
I think this is what I said before. We need more doctors like you in the world.
Thank you.
This week I just came back home from picking up my sister from the hospital. She went in for surgery, had been denied surgery multiple times because of stuff was going on, and the doctors are just multiple doctors. No one is carrying joy. People just come in just to prescribe the medicine, and this is why I'm saying like we need more doctors like you who one carry faith, carry life, and actually to talk about how do we get to the root of the problem, not just mask the problem by giving someone a pill,
Right.
just to
Yeah.
mask the pain.
Hey,
Right.
Zeph, before you go on, I have to bring this into this discussion today because this is so, so important. It's the hope aspect. And you said something earlier, but how can you say you can prevent disease and reverse disease?
Mm,
And this is a logical part of us human beings, as you were mentioning, pre-diabetes. I was pre-diabetic at the age of 50.
I was
I was
pre-diabetic.
heading down diabetes. I mean, it was a train wreck, my health
mm,
wise. The thing to understand for everybody out there, this is the hope aspect, is understanding that also it's Alzheimer's. 95% of it is lifestyle caused.
wow.
95% we now know is the lifestyle cause. So diabetes, inflammation, arthritis, all these different they're all inflammations, whether it's body or the brain. They're all lifestyle caused. So here's the amazing, great hope for prevention and reversal is because it's lifestyle caused, then what we need to do is we can identify the contributors that brought someone to that. Let's say it's being diabetic, diabetes type 2.
Mm,
We can identify the lifestyle contributors that has brought somebody there. And then once we've identified them, we can remove those contributors, and then we can rebuild the body systems. We've helped people with type 2 diabetes reverse that in 12 months and have them be cleared to not need medication anymore. Why? Because they did the work. But the other thing is when they understood the hope that if we can identify the contributors of that disease that got you there, that you've been said, hey, you got these issues. Once we identify that, we can reverse those contributors, and then we can rebuild the body systems because we can bring you back to where you were. And that's the hope
Come on.
of prevention and reversal of disease, because we can do it, and the hope is there.
Come on. One final thing. What is, for someone who's still trying to figure out, like, who are these guys and why, how they're different? What is the difference between what you guys offer, what you guys do, as opposed to traditional medicine and what's going on right now?
Great question. Conventional medicine, which is the medicine that you see right now that's going on, is going to be replaced by functional medicine within the next 20 years because the world cannot handle financially, countries can't handle financially the workload of chronic disease. And it doesn't have to happen. The medicine Michael and I have been trained to do and implement gets to the root cause so that you don't have the chronic disease. You reverse the chronic disease. You prevent the chronic disease. So we're working upstream. Conventional medicine is working downstream. And that's why you're seeing so much chronic disease in your family, in my family, that's all the downstream. We're upstream.
Wow.
And the other thing is also, we're not, yes, the research is there, but we're not theory.
Yeah.
Because pretty much everything we would talk about, everything I would talk to you about diabetes or other things that are going on, we've already done them. We relate everything to our life. We don't, if we suggest something for you, it's not something we're already doing. Because we're on the path to live to be 100 years young and healthy and toned and sexy. So I'm looking good for this
Come on,
amazing
yes.
bride of mine,
Let's go.
So
Keep saying it, babe. Let's keep
the
saying
thing is, we do it. Whatever, we're talking about is what we're doing.
Come on. One final story. We went to a funeral. My wife and I went to a funeral not so long ago, and we looked around and we saw the state of our family. And in that moment, we made a pact with ourselves because we're not 40 yet. We said, baby, you and I are going to make a covenant right here, right now, that we're going to walk into our 40s fitter, faster, stronger, more mobile than anyone in our family. And we're going to lead them into it. And it happened that day. And so from then on, we decided to change just bit by bit, just like small degree shifts every now and then, here and there. But we're just so sick of seeing the chaos in the health of our family. And so we decided from now on, we're going to walk into our 40s fitter, faster, stronger, and a lot more mobile and flexible at the same time, and better brain health for sure.
Yeah, beautiful.
This has been such an awesome, convicting conversation for me. I feel like the whole world needs to come see you. Where do I bring people to? How do people find you?
They can go to doctoronamission.com. That's DOCTOR on ONA mission MISSION.com. That's our website. And then our handle is?
Yeah. And then social media, if you look for @Doctor on a Mission, you'll find us. So on the website or on social media, if you want to say, let's see what these guys do on a daily basis. Yeah, we're out there.
We're going walking.
You'll find us walking, enjoying life, doing whatever, and crashing and burning along the way, just like everybody else. Guess what?
Get back up.
We're a couple humans looking to live our best life and help others to do the same.
Come on. And you have a weekly live that you guys do on the YouTube channel?
Called the MD and Chef Team Show, live show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. And it's all about health. We have 3 segments in it. Number 1 is the area of health. Number 2 is relationships. We do a relationship chat every time because we've been together for 45 years. And you can learn from our crashes and burns and how the heck did we get to 45 years being together.
Yeah.
And then our third segment, our third part of the show is inspirational. We talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and how he's inspirational in our life. And
come on.
And what he's done in our lives. So that's the MD and Chef Team Show.
Come on. And that I see on your website, you guys have a coaching program where you sit with people for a period of 6 weeks or so. Is that correct?
Yeah, they can email us and it's personalized.
Yep.
We figure out what they need and then we let them know what the investment would be.
Sure.
We can't take on everybody.
Yep.
So we just listen. We do a discovery call. We listen and we go, okay, we can help you get there. Because there's some people it's not our lane.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for your time today. This has been an absolute blast for me. You filled my cup with this conversation, to be honest, because as a personal trainer, what you're talking about now actually lights me up because it gives me hope for my family. So
Yes.
Good.
I think the whole world should come and see you guys. Literally, I think the whole world should come and see you guys, and let's re-educate people around brain health and how to actually live with governance over our own bodies as well. This
You
is
know it.
Rule and Reign, where we are on a mission to discover what it looks like to walk in governance, live in dominion, to rule and reign in every single area of our life. For myself and Doctors on the Mission, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Bless you.
Bye.